Hello! Now that we've had the catastrophe of this year's GCSE results and the dust has settled, we find that actually students ended up with 6% grade inflation. That's right, all the grades, especially the key ones at 4 and 7 and above, went up by about 6% in every subject. This even led to some balmy grade results, according to The Sun, where students who were only entered for foundation tiers ended up with results that they couldn't possibly have scored because the foundation tier didn't go that high. Well, what on earth caused this incredible grade inflation? How did it happen? All the news at the beginning was about this terribly unjust Ofqual algorithm, which had too many anomalies to it. So when you followed the algorithm through, there were too many students who suddenly dropped grades, inexplicably, well below what their teachers had assessed them. Well, there was a massive scandal about this, as you know, and the government then said, well, we're going to go back to the centre-assessed grades, the teacher predictions, and we'll give students those instead. And that's led to a big inflation of grades. But what you might not know is that they then went back to all the individuals who got unexpectedly high grades with the Ofqual algorithm. And there were obviously thousands of students who got brilliant grades that way. And they added those to the teacher predictions. So you got to keep the best of the teacher prediction or the algorithm. And that's what led to this massive 6% increase. Now, why that's relevant now is because the Chief Medical Officer, Chris Whitty, is saying that there is a potential for a second wave. That's nationally, but if we think locally, it is 100% certain that schools and some local authorities, some towns, will definitely be shutting schools over the next school year. There will definitely be year groups that do not go to school. You will. So you might have a week out, 2 weeks out, or more. It's definitely going to happen at some point. Now, the government's solution to this so far is to look at delaying the start of the exam season or letting that exam season spread over a much longer period so that students who do face further lockdown won't be disadvantaged. The one thing that is 100% certain is they're not going to go back to the algorithm, and they're definitely not going to go just to teacher assessed grades. In fact, there were very few countries in Europe that didn't just simply go back to exams this year. We were an outlier. So this demands the question, doesn't it? What should you do as a student if you know that it's likely there'll be times when you're at home, not at school, because it's in lockdown? Now, the first solution, it won't surprise you, is to use my channel. Now, when you release videos on YouTube, you've no idea how many students will watch them and how useful they will be. And to be honest, I'm rubbish at making thumbnails, so sometimes my best videos are hardly even watched. But I have some fantastic data which will show you that my videos will dramatically increase your chance of getting the exam grade. So if we look at 2020, 1,700 students replied to my poll where I wanted to find out how far they improved from their mocks. Bear in mind, this was a record year, 6% higher than last year, and these are the percentages that students said they got. But if we go back to 2019, when students actually sat exams, well, instead of these results being 6% lower, actually these results are much, much higher. How can that be? How can my videos lead to much greater results than when students were given the best of their teacher estimates, which we know were inflated, and the best of the algorithm, which we know were wrong? Well, it's quite simple. I don't make videos to gain subscribers. If I did, I'd aim them at grades 4, 5, 6 and 7 because that's most of the country. Instead, I keep trying to tell everybody, look, if you're an average student who works hard, I can get you top grades, or you're going to get yourself top grades by using my videos. And these are as close to facts as we can get. They're not my opinions. This is actually what students report when they do an exam using my videos. The next thing I'm going to suggest to you is that you actually think about how to learn from the videos you watch. If you just type in how to revise into YouTube, there are lots of teenage experts, who've gone through it and give you their advice. Jack Edwards, not bad. Jade, fantastic. She has some really good ideas on what revision techniques actually look like that agree with the science. And then Abi Abdal is absolutely... And then Ali Abdal is amazing, although he went to Cambridge, so he's a genius anyway. But he does have some really interesting techniques. He follows Thomas Frank, who's another really helpful person. The most imaginative, though, I have found to be Unjaded Jade. And I'm sure you've discovered channels like Free Science Lessons, where you have a teacher who you would never want to be in the classroom with deliver absolutely outstanding explanations which help you remember what you've been taught. Or if you prefer to read about how to improve your memory, which after all is quicker than watching a video, go to thelearningscientist.org, who have a massive free range of materials, videos, podcasts and frequently asked questions. So if you use my channel and other YouTubers' channels correctly, you will be able to revise much more efficiently than most of the rest of the country, especially when your school is shut. But I guarantee that 20 minutes a day watching my videos will put you in these 28% of students who improve their grades by 3 or 4 or 5 grades above their mocks. Now, I have put together a playlist of my own videos where I look at the science of revision and what you can physically do when you revise, and they should be appearing on the left up here. See you soon on my channel. You should click on it now. And see you soon on my channel.